Hey, what's going on, everyone? Today, we're going to go through installing Apache2 on a Linux 2 AMI. Making this video because as I was looking around, I saw that, there wasn't anything that really was quick, to the point, and like just showed you the steps without using something like CloudFormation or whatever. We're going to be doing this on an AWS EC2 instance. We're going to go through how to set that up. It's all very simple, very quick, straightforward. So we're just going to jump right into it. First thing you're going to do is you're going to come down here to find services, or you can see in the compute under all services, you can just click on EC2. Very simple interface right here. You have a couple different options. You can click on your running instances, or you can click on launch instance, and then you're going to click on launch instance once again. And like I said, we're going to be using the Linux 2 AMI right here. So we're just going to click select. And we're going to use the free tier eligible. Let me just move myself right over here. Where do I want to be? I'll be up here. And we'll click next, configure instance. One thing that you're going to want to do, something that I forget to do sometimes, is we're going to click on enable. And sometimes when you use subnet setting, if you don't have a default VPC or virtual private cloud, this will say disable. So if you don't have one of those, if you deleted it for some reason, it's very simple to set up. I'll make another video on how to do that. But either way, if it doesn't say use subnet setting enable, if it says disable, you're going to have to go in here and click enable. And basically that's just to one, allow you to actually get into your command line interface using either SSH or whatever other option that you use. I use SSH using PuTTY, and I'll show you how to do that as well. So main thing to take away is just, remember to have this say enable one way or another. Next, we're going to run storage or go to storage adding. We're not going to add any storage today, so you can just keep it normal. We're not going to do any tags or anything. This is all, up to you. You can set it up however you'd want to set it up. But for the purposes of this video, we're not going to do anything. Next, you're going to configure a security group. Now, what's important here is, as you can see, we have one rule right here, and it's SSH. So obviously that's port 22, and we're letting it in over basically any network. So it's kind of open to the world, but that's okay because, I'm not trying to make this super secure right now. It's just for training purposes. If you are setting up an EC2 instance to be a web server and people obviously need to be able to get to it through their browser, then you're going to want to click add a rule and go down here. And you have a couple different, you have many different options, but the two options that we're searching for are HTTP, which is port 80, and then we're going to do HTTPS as well, which is right here, and that's port 443. And basically what this will do is it will allow people to type into the search bar either your IP address, or when you set up your domain name and connect it to your IP address, they'll be able to do that and be able to get to it through the internet, as opposed to just being able to get to it through SSHing into your instance. So we're going to review and launch. And launch. Here we have a key pair. You have a couple different options. The first thing is you can choose an existing key pair, you can create a new key pair, proceed without a key pair. Basically, you either want to have an existing key pair or a new key pair. You do not want to do this without a key pair at all, because what the key pair is doing is it's securing your instance. So even in a training environment, we're going to do this. That way no one can quickly go in and mess with it, because you never know what can happen even in a quick video like this. So I have an existing key pair right here. If you didn't have one, you can create a new one. It's really simple to do. And then you're going to download it, and just make sure that you remember where you save that key pair, because if you forget it and you're trying to log in and say you have multiple key pairs for whatever reason, whatever the case may be, then you could quite easily start trying to use the wrong one. You could have done all this work, and then if you lose it, you don't know where it is, you're going to have to go back through and restart from the beginning and do all your work from the beginning. So make sure you remember where this key pair is. We're just going to click I acknowledge, click launch instance, if I could speak. You can see I have one that's running right now, and then I have this one that's pending. It should be pretty quick to set up. Yeah, I'm going to pause the video and then I'll come back when it's all set up. All right, so we've passed everything, passed all our checks, our instance is running. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to SSH into it. And that's where this public IPv4 address comes into play, not only for searching through it through the browser, but also for setting up Apache2, MySQL, whatever the case may be. I'm not sure if you'd be setting up a LAMP stack or whatever the case is. But for now, we're just going to set up Apache2. So here I'm going to go to PuTTY, and you can find this. For download. It's a free SSH, and yeah. So here you're going to go search for the key pair that you created, and we're going to click open. So what I did here, sorry for everybody, sorry, I'm just kind of on autopilot, is when this first pops up, it's going to look like this on the category selection bar. What you're going to do is you're going to expand SSH. You're going to click on auth or authorize, and you're going to browse, and you can browse to your key pair. A lot of times you won't have your key pair in the proper format, so it won't be PPK. So what you can do is what you're going to do is you're going to go to PuTTYgen, and you're going to click load, and you're going to search for one of these, and it will be in a PEM file, and you need to make it into a PPK file. So you're going to load one of those up, and then you're going to make sure that this is on RSA, and you're going to click save private key. And then you probably have to move your mouse around, and basically that's just to make it a random key that no one else will know. So yeah, so that's what I did. But once you've made that, you're going to click browse. You're going to click on that key, which is this. Like I said, you're going to click open. Mine's already there. And then you can come to session, and you're going to type in or paste that IP address. And then you can save it under a name. We'll save it under test and save. So next thing you're going to do is double click on that. And this is going to pop up. It's because I didn't save my key under a password. No big deal. If you don't do that, you just click yes. If you're in a production environment, not in just a testing environment, you are going to want to save that under a password. And basically what that means is whenever you go to log in, it will ask you for that password in order to more secure or better secure whatever it is you're working on. But as we're not doing that, all we're going to have to do is type in the username, and that's EC2 TAC user. And here we go. So we're in the Amazon Linux 2 AMI. You can see right here. And first thing we're going to do is we're going to go sudo su, and that's going to upgrade our privileges to root user so that we can actually make some changes to this. So the next thing we're going to do is do yum update. And there we go. We're going to click yes. And it's going to go through its little thing here. Once everything is updated, that's when we're going to do the Apache install. And that's really, really simple. It's literally 5 steps. It's super easy commands. In fact, one of them is already done because we're already under the root user. So we are going to be able to plow right through this and no problem. All right, and we are complete, as it says right there. So that's not a big deal. So now that we're all updated, our instance is updated, we're running on the latest update. Next thing we can do, since we're already in root privileges, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do yum update. Oh no, sorry, we just did that. We're going to do a yum install httpd dot x86 underscore 64. And it will do its little thing. You're going to click yes. And another thing that you can do here, sorry, I should probably be doing this throughout, is when you're writing these commands, right? Like, so that was my last command that I just wrote. When it comes to that point where it says yes, no, and I'm clicking yes, another thing you could do is simply type tac or dash y. And basically what that's telling the command is whatever question is asked, yes, I want to do it. And you can just go ahead and do that. That's not a big deal. So once we've installed that, we're going to do systemctl start httpd.service. Spell, Jared, spell. All right, service. Now, one thing to be aware of here is that each Linux, Unix, whatever the case may be, each software within or operating system within Linux, there's a bunch of different sub operating systems or whatever you want to call it, might have a slightly different syntax that you're going to use when you are filling this out, when you are patching this through. So in this case, it's service, but in some cases it might be services. Most of the time, right? So if I type services, it's going to come and it will say failed to start http.services.service. So we're just going to go ahead and hit backspace. And as you can see, when we hit service, we're all good. So the next thing we're going to do, because we need to enable it, we've started it, but we haven't enabled it, is we're going to enable it. So what you can do is you can just hit the up arrow on your keyboard. That's what I did. And as you saw, it brought up the last command that I did. And then I just used the arrows to go back to the start, deleted it, and then click enable. And there we go. And we're all done. That's how simple it is. It's really quick, straightforward, easy to do. If you have any questions, go ahead and comment below. And yeah, I'll try to get to them as soon as I can. Thanks for watching.